Hello and welcome to the Jungle Garden in Denmark. I know I'm a couple of weeks late with this video, but we have been so busy with rebuilding the garden. We're almost there. We still need a few more plants to plant, but I thought I'll show you how far we've come. And sorry about the wind noise. There'll be a lot of it because it's so windy today, as always. And even though the whole garden has been weeded from one end to the other, you know what it's like. It's already started to come back. So apologies for weeds, but it's not as bad as the last time. As always with these plants, some of those you think have died, and some of those you think have survived have swapped places. This is the Tetrapanax peperifera. In the last video I thought it had died, but it's looking good and it's putting out some bigger and bigger leaves, so that's nice. And the other one, the steroidal giant, has survived as well, so that is a really nice surprise. But unfortunately it looks like all our tree ferns have died. This is the big one. There is some green down in the middle. It looks like new fronds, but I mean, we are in June now and nothing else has happened. So we have decided to give it a year to see if it'll do something. And if not, it has to go. And that is such a shame because this guy wasn't cheap. It's the same with the smaller one we've got over here. If you can see it, exactly same thing. There is some green down the middle, but nothing happens. It'll get a year to look awful, and then it has to go. Unfortunately, the one we had near the gate, the entrance to the garden, the first thing you see when you enter, that has died. And the one we had in the New Zealand bed has died as well. And it turned out that my husband had forgotten to give them a heat cable this winter. They were protected and wrapped and everything as they always are, but they didn't have a heat cable, and apparently that was what did all the difference. And I must admit, it is getting too much work. I'm disabled, I can't do much. It's my husband that has to do everything. So we have decided no more tree ferns in the garden like this anyway. We are doing something else from now on. What we have decided to do is, instead of Dixonia and Articas that are kept here in the garden during winter, we now have planted a Cyathea cooperi, which is not at all frost hardy, but it will be lifted and taken indoors. And the same thing here in the New Zealand bed, where you can see one very dead Dixonia antarctica tree fern. We're going to dig it up, and then we're going to put a Cyathea cooperi in a big pot. The surrounding ferns are so big now, so you probably can't see the pot anyway. And I think that's the way to do it from now on. And with these two guys, this garden has to put up with all sorts of things. They are pretty wild. As always this time of year, the rhododendrons are really pretty. Some of them have already gone over, as you can see, the white one to the left and the salmon colored one to the right. But then we've got some purple ones over here that are just coming into bloom. Very pretty. Now that we have removed all the dead palms, there are quite a lot of bare patches in the garden, and we have been busy planning and discussing and finding out what to do. And we have decided to go a little more safe, I think. So we will try to get some evergreens, fully hardy evergreens, and then I'll just try to get some plants with the interesting leaves, like the acuba in the background with the spotted leaves. And we've already got a few of those in the garden, and they're doing excellent. But we still have room for some more exotic stuff. So as you can see, some of the plants have arrived. I have ordered a lot of plants, and most of them haven't arrived yet, but some of them have. And a few of these are also plants that were in winter protection, so we had them already. But there is a small tree fern. It's very difficult to find tree ferns with a decent size at the moment, unless you're a millionaire, which I'm not. So I've bought a little one to replace another little one that died years ago. I don't think I've ever filmed it because it disappeared years ago. And then there are some other plants that should be fully hardy for the Danish climate. I don't know if you can spot them in here, but it's Viburnum davidii with quite an interesting leaf. And I'm looking forward to see them planted out in the garden. We were lucky enough to find some fairly cheap big palms in the local supermarket. And they have been planted here in that area where the eucalyptus trees used to be. There's also a lot of bushes or shrubs been planted. Some of them have been moved from other places in the garden where they didn't do so well, and hopefully they'll do better here. I'm not quite finished here yet, but we're getting there. What I have tried is to combine our exotic plants with some more frost hardy things, like like this Photinia in here, where I've tried to find something with some interesting leaves, or that dark sambucus in the corner. I don't know if you can see it, it's not much light here, or this Mahonia volcano. So hopefully it'll still be an interesting garden, but just not with so much that dies in the winter. And as you can see, I haven't finished yet. Still got some weeds that has come back, and all these grasses are meant to be here at the edge. I'm going to move them out so they're all at the edge of the bed. I'm doing the same thing on the other side of the path. Here's another one of the dark sambucus. And I'm going to divide and move some of the grasses from the other side so they can be at the edge of the bed as well. This year we've got a cordyline in flower, which is really funny. We've never tried that before. The only thing is that apparently the tree branches out afterwards, and that will make it a lot harder to protect for winter. But we'll just have to see what happens. But in this bed I've done the same thing. I've tried to use some more winter hardy bushes. There is another Mahonia volcano in there in the back, and we've got another one of the dark leaved bushes here. I can't remember what it is, not Sambucus, that one. And then there's a little Viburnum Davidii here in the front. I like the leaves, and I think they can fit in a exotic looking garden. Also the ground cover is going to be Podophylla. I couldn't get the one I like the most. I've got it elsewhere in the garden, unfortunately, but that one is okay as well. The black bucket is symbolizing a Melianthus major, which absolutely isn't frost hardy, but I have grown some from seed and they're not big enough yet to be planted out. Perhaps we'll get to see them this summer. Here on the I also have planted some new stuff instead of the dead plants, and even though I said I was through with Desilerian, I have planted a new one. You just have to see there next winter. I know to protect it a bit more than it was last winter. So it's beginning to look as I want, except for the weeds that have come back, and then we need some more gravel, but we're getting there. Also in this end of the mountain area, it's beginning to look as I want. Planted some echiums. I was lucky to get hold of on a local plant fair, and I've moved our Eramuras and split it into 3 because it was so big. They were just about to go into flower, but they've given up on that, I can see. So we'll just have to wait till next year. This is where the dead fig tree was, and here too I have planted some other things. Transplanted a bootia because it'll get a lot more sun in this area, and I've tried to find bushes with some interesting leaves like before. So I've planted that little choicea in the background with the bright yellow leaves. And then there's another Sambucus with dark leaves. And yet another Viburnum Davidii over here. And another symbolic pot to represent a Melianthus major. We'll just have to see if they ever get big enough for this year, but they're way too small at the moment. And here I have moved the black mondograss of Epogon to the edge to sort of pick up on that black Sambuca in there. Sambucus, I think it's called. And here are the other 2 of our supermarket palm trees, and some more new interesting bushes. I'm looking forward to see the whole thing growing up. And become a bit more dense, and also the ground cover will help a lot, I think. This here was one of those cordyceps that threatened to die because it was planted right next to another one, and apparently it didn't like that. Really strange. But that has made new shoots, as you can see, and it's looking really good, I think. So that has got a new spot there. The Australian bed still looks a little bare. I lost a few plants even though they were in winter storage, but I had someone to help me watering them, and I mean, it's just something you have to do yourself. Only you can tell whether they need water or not. So they probably died from too much water, too little. And even Australian palm trees get burnt by the sun if they're all of a sudden put outside, poor thing. But I just don't have the possibility of taking them in and out for a few days, so it's just have to deal with it. The only eucalyptus tree that we thought survived the winter is this one. So we decided to move it out here in the Australian bed where it gets a lot more sun than where it was. It still looked like it had some green new shoots in the top, but moving it probably didn't do it any good. So now it is officially dead. And I'll probably get another one just like it because I like the shape of it. It's a lot easier to protect a tree shaped like that in winter. And here in the New Zealand bed we've got another cordyline coming into flower. It's quite funny because that's got a different color than the other one, and they should be the same kind of cordyline. So we'll just have to see if we get new little cordylines everywhere. But in the whole, except for that dead tree fern, everything is looking good here in the New Zealand bed. And especially here the Scheffler Taiwaniana is putting out loads of new shoots. It's really lovely to see. So I think it has established itself firmly now, and perhaps it will become a little tree. We never know. It's beginning to look a lot better after that devastating winter. And this was just a quick tour around to see what we've been up to. Next time I really hope that I've finished everything. The last plants are those plants that you can't buy here in Denmark. You have to get them abroad, so it takes a little longer. Thank you for watching.